Hello everyone, welcome to Dikshant classes. Today I am going to teach about the three characteristics of experimental research. These characteristics are control, manipulation, observation. Control is the first element of or essential ingredients of experimental methods. The main purpose of control is in an experiment is to arrange the situations in which the effect of the variables can be measured specifically to evaluate the effects of independent variable. An extraneous variable is the variable that is not related to the purpose of the study but may affect the dependent variable. Next is manipulation. Manipulation of a variable is another distinguishing characteristic of experimental research. It refers to a deliberate operation performed by the researcher. In contrast to the descriptive research, in which the researcher simply observes conditions as they occur naturally. The researcher in the experimental research actually set the stage for the occurrence of the factors whose performance is to be studied under condition where all factors are controlled or eliminated. Next is observations. In experimentations, we are interested in the effect of the manipulations of the independent variables to the dependent variable. For example, we are testing of a COVID-19 on the patient. For some patients, it is COVID positive and the symptoms of COVID found, but we check by giving the vaccination to the affected patient, we check what is the efficiency of this vaccine and how is the result and how with what variables are controlled. Next is experimental research. Experimental research designs are the primary approach used to investigate causal cause-effect relationships and to study the relationship between the one variable and another. Next is independent variable. This is a variable that will be manipulated, the cause or treatment variable. These variables may be an activity or characteristics that the researcher believe will make a difference. Next is dependent variables. This variable is the effect or outcome of the manipulating the independent variable. The only constant is that the outcome must be measurable. Next is experimental group. The group that receive the treatment being investigated. Control group, the group that remains the same in order to have something to compare the experimental group against. For example, to examine the effect of different teaching methods upon achievement in reading, an investigator would manipulate method, the independent variable, by using different teaching method in order to ascertain their effect upon achievement dependent variables. For example, appropriate for the following purpose: to understand which variables are the cause independent variable and which variables are effect dependent variable of phenomenon. To determine the nature of the relationship between causal variable and the effect to be predicted. Experimental research is based on the methodology that meet the three criteria that are important if the results are to be meaningful. And these criteria are as follow: random assignment, experiment control, appropriate measures. Random assignment, test subject must be randomly assigned to the treatment groups. Random assignment, test subjects must be assigned randomly. Random assignment, test subjects must be randomly assigned to the treatment groups to control for the creation of groups that may systematically differ in another way that impact the outcome of the treatment. Next is experimental control. All aspects of the treatment are identical except for the independent variables. If all other factors are controls and kept constant, all the aspects of the treatments are identical except for the independent variable if all other factors are controlled and kept constant. If then measurable differences are found in the outcome of the researcher, can be assured that differences is due to the dependent variable treatment. Next is appropriate measures. The measures of outcomes must appropriate for testing the hypothesis. The outcomes measures must represent the idea being tested in the hypothesis in order for the test to be valid. Non-experimental, using theories and reasoning. It has wider scope than experimental research. It is one of the broad categories of research in which the researcher observes the phenomena of they occur naturally and no external variables are introduced. It is a research which variables are not deliberately manipulated nor the setting control. In non-experimental research, the researcher collects data without making changes or introducing treatments. Next is quasi-experimental research. Share similarities with the traditional experimental designs or random control trials, but it specifically lacks to the element of the random assessment to the treatment or controls. It shares the similarity with the traditional experimented designs or randomized control trial, but it specifically lacks the elements of random assignment to treatment or control. Quasi-experiments are subject to the concern regarding internal validity because the treatment and the control groups may not be comparable at a baseline. Next is difference between experimental research and non-experimental research. Experimental research is when the researcher is able to manipulate the predictors, the variables, and subject to identify cause and effect relationship. Non-experimental research is the label given to the study when the researcher cannot control, manipulate, or alter the predictor or variable or subject. The ability to find a cause and effect relationship is kind of a big deal in the world of science, being able to say X cause Y. While non-experimental research cannot come close, non-experimental researchers cannot say with absolute certainty that leads to Y. Next is exploratory. Next is definitions. Exploratory research. Ambiguous problems. Our sales are declining. Why? We explore these. Descriptive research, aware of the problem, what is happened in the past, what is happening in the present, what is happening in the future, who is buying our product. Next is casual research. The casual research is a research where problems are clearly defined. Will the buyer purchase more if we change the website, we change the features, innovate something new. Next is exploratory research. It is a preliminary study of an unfamiliar problem about which the researcher has little or no knowledge. The objective of exploratory research is the development of hypotheses rather than their testing. It usually takes the form of pilot study, and some examples of exploratory research are focus groups, the internet communities, among others. Some questions we often resolve are: do users understand our value proposal? What people think of our product? Why are sales increasing, declining, flat? That's all today's class. If you have any doubt, any query, you can post in the comment section. I will surely make videos. Thank you so much.